Hi everyone, this is Shivabiram signing in. Many of the students had asked me to explain locus diagrams regarding network theory. So as a part of that I am making this video. So in this video I am going to give a lecture regarding the locus diagrams. So before going for the content, I request you to subscribe to my channel and share your valuable feedback. So let me go through the PPT. First of all, I would like to give you the objectives of presentation. So once we complete this particular topic, the learner will be understanding the locus diagram, the definition of locus diagram, and the locus diagram for RL series circuit, for RC series circuit, and also for parallel circuit. So all these things we are going to study in this particular session. So first of all, let us understand what is meant by locus. Locus means, the simple definition is, it's a path. So whatever path is going to be traced by our electrical parameter, that is being considered as locus. So generally we are going to have different loci. Loci is the plural of locus. Voltage locus, current locus, impedance locus, and this impedance locus is being considered on Rx plane. R means for real and X is for reactance is for imaginary. And admittance locus. Admittance locus is being considered in a plane having the conductance and susceptance. G stands for conductance and B stands for susceptance plane. So these are the different loci that we are going to have in our electrical network theory. But in general usage, if we consider, always we prefer this current locus. So here I am going to consider a series RL circuit in which I am going to consider resistance as the variable and inductance as fixed one. And this particular series combination has been connected to a sinusoidal alternating voltage of Vs is equal to Vm sin theta. In polar form it is being represented as V at an angle of 0. And for all my locus diagrams, I am going to consider the voltage as the reference vector, and I am going to draw the current passing through this particular circuit as the locus of this particular current is going to be drawn here. So here when R varies, initially we assume that the resistance is going to be 0. I am taking voltage as the reference vector here, V. And when resistance is 0, the circuit behaves like a pure inductive circuit, and the magnitude of current is given by V by XL. So this magnitude of current I is equal to V by XL, and we know that in a pure inductive circuit the current is going to lag behind the voltage by 90 degrees. So next, at this point the resistance is going to be 0, and slowly when the resistance is increased, we are going to have the phase angle less than 90 degrees. So here R1 is the new value of the resistance. So here we consider the value of R1 is greater than, R2 is greater than, and so on. So as resistance increases, obviously the impedance of the circuit also increases, and as the impedance increases, we know that the current is going to decrease. So here this is the maximum current we are going to have, and slowly as the resistance increases, the impedance also is going to increase and the current is going to decrease. So here the length of the vector has been reduced to compared to the previous one. Next, for R2, as it is greater than this R1, again the current is further reduced here. So let me draw this. So when you consider R2, which is greater than R1 value, the current vector is going to be further decreased, and like that it goes on, the length of the vector is, the magnitude of current is going to be decreased. And when you add all this the points, the new points for different values of resistance we are going to consider, we get the locus of the current in this fashion. So here this is a semicircle we are going to have with the midpoint or the center as equal to v by 2xl, I mean 0 comma v by 2xl, that we are going to prove how this is going to resemble the equation of a circle and having a radius of this v by 2xl. So for that, what I consider is I am going to consider this as the current here, making an angle of theta, and the y component is going to be, that is the x component I cos theta, and this is the y component Iy is going to be I sin theta. And we know that this is the impedance. The impedance is given as z square is equal to r square plus xl square, and the power factor cos theta is given as r by z and sin theta is equal to xl by z. And if we substitute here, I is v by z and sin theta is xl by z, so this gives rise to v into xl by z square, and from this we get 1 by z square is equal to Iy by vxl. So 1 by z square is equal to Iy, that is the y component divided by v into xl. So this thing we are going to substitute later on, and we know that the total current I square is equal to the x component plus y component, and I is equal to v by z, hence it gives rise to v square by z square, and we know that this 1 by z square is equal to Iy by xl, and substitute here we are going to get so v gets cancelled each other, and we are going to have ix square plus Iy square is equal to v into Iy by xl. And let us take this Iy component to the left hand side. We are going to have is equal to 0 on to the right hand side, and I am going to do a little modification here, Iy square minus, so here I am writing down this as multiplying and dividing with 2 here, so 2 into v Iy by 2xl plus, and I am going to add v square by 2xl whole square on both sides, so it is not going to make any difference for this. And ix square plus this is of the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square, which gives rise to a minus b whole square, that is Iy minus v by 2xl whole square, that is equal to v by 2xl whole square. And this is the equation of a circle. So x square plus y square is equal to r square, or x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. So here a, in the place of a we are going to have 0, and in the place of b we are going to have v by 2xl. Hence we are going to have 0 comma minus v by 2xl as the center of the circle, and the radius is going to be v by 2xl. So you can observe here the center as equal to 0 comma minus v by 2xl, and the radius is given as v by 2xl. This is only for our understanding purpose we are doing this. So next let us go for another one. Here we are going to consider another circuit diagram in which this is also a series combination of resistance and inductance, but here the inductance is a variable one and resistance is a constant fixed one. Let us see how we are going to get here. The same thing we are going to do. First we consider x as 0, the reactance of this inductor as 0. So when this is 0, simply we can assume it as a short circuit, and only the circuit is resistive in nature. So the current I becomes equal to V by R or Vs by R, which will be in phase with the voltage. So that will be, and as the inductance increases, so slowly the magnitude of current decreases, and that will be the locus of current will be in the same fashion. Let me show you. Initially we are going to have XL as equal to 0, and gradually the inductive reactance is going to increase. So again consider voltage as the reference vector, And we know I is equal to V by R when reactance is equal to 0 in phase with the voltage. So this is going to be I, and slowly as the reactance is going to increase, the current is going to lag behind the voltage by some angle. So here again we consider different reactances such that x1 greater than x2 greater than x3. So the way in which we are going to vary the reactance, it depends upon the frequency. So as the frequency varies, we know that the reactance also is going to vary, because XL is equal to omega into L. Omega means 2 pi f. So the impedance increases, and as the impedance increases, the current is going to decrease. So again we are going to have another new point for the second value of the impedance Z1 or X1. Similarly, as the reactance is going to increase, the current is going to decrease slowly, and the angle of lagging also is going to increase. Like that, we are going to have different points for different values of reactance, and once we join all these points, we are going to get the locus of the current for this variable inductance and constant resistance. So this is also a semicircle having a radius of V by 2R. So this is actually the length is V by R, and if you consider the midpoint, we are going to have V by 2R. So that is the middle point. We are going to have V by 2R comma 0, and that is the radius of magnitude V by 2R. So even if we write down the equation, we are going to have Ix minus V by 2R whole square plus Iy square is equal to you can derive in the same way that we have done for the previous case. Now let us consider a series RC circuit in which the capacitance is going to vary and the resistance is going to be constant. So we know that the capacitor, when you consider the capacitance in a circuit, capacitor in a circuit, the current is going to lead the voltage. So initially when Xc is equal to 0, the circuit behaves like a pure resistive circuit, and the current will be in phase with the supply voltage. So these things are common for any locus diagram. So first I am considering the voltage vector as the reference. So initially, when the circuit in which resistance is constant and capacitance is variable here. So in the same way we have seen for inductance, here also the capacitive reactance we assume it as 0 initially, and slowly it increases. So when the capacitive reactance is 0, we are going to have the maximum value of current will be V by R, and that will be in phase with the voltage. So this is what actually we are going to have. And slowly as the capacitive reactance increases, the power factor is going to lead, unlike for inductance, and the magnitude is going to be decreased, because as the reactance increases, obviously the impedance also increases. So from one value to the other. So this is for the next value of capacitive reactance, we are going to have this is the current. So like that, if we join all these points, we are going to get again a semicircle whose the radius will be again V by 2R comma 0. Center will be V by 2R comma 0. This is for a series RC circuit where resistance is constant and C is variable. So this is about the series circuits that we can have all these locus diagrams of current. And if you consider for parallel circuit, so here I am going to consider two branch network in which the first branch consists of a resistance and a variable inductance, and the second branch consists of a series combination of resistance and capacitive reactance. So here I is the total current, which is the resultant of I1 and I2. I1 is the current passing through branch 1, and I2 is the current passing through second branch. So here the applied voltage will be the same across each branch because they are connected in parallel. Here if you want to find out the locus of this total current, first I2 we have to consider I2 is the current passing through the series combination of resistance and capacitance, and that is going to lead the supply voltage because it is consisting of the capacitor. So I is equal to, first we are going to draw I2 leading by some phase angle which is given by tan inverse of XC by 2, and after that again I1 is the locus. Already we have seen the locus of this combination, that is series resistance and inductive reactance. So let me show you the combination of these particular things. First of all, let us consider voltage as the reference here and draw I2 first, leading by an angle of phi 2. Phi 2 is given as tan inverse of XC by R2, and from I2 again let us consider, so when XL is going to be 0, we are going to have the maximum value of I1, which is going to be given as V by R1. So this is V by R1, and slowly as XL the reactance is going to increase, we are going to have the lagging values of currents, and if we join this we are going to get the locus of I2 here. So if voltage is taken in this direction, the diagram also is going to be reversed. This is the locus of now the total current. So this is I2 variation with respect to the inductive reactance. This point is XL is equal to 0, and this point corresponds to the XL is equal to infinite. So let us consider another circuit in which we are going to have the resistance as the variable here in branch 1. So again here we are going to consider voltage as the reference. First we have to draw the I2 branch, I2 here, which is going to lead by phi 2. And from there again take the reference. Here as the resistance is going to vary, we are going to have R1 is equal to 0 initially, and so this is going to be the current is going to lag the voltage because it is pure inductive circuit for this current, and slowly as the resistance is going to increase and becomes infinity, we are going to get these different points. These things we have seen in the series RL combination. So this is the locus of the total current we are going to get. At different points we are going to have different values of current. So that's all for today's session. Like that we can go for different values, different types of locus diagrams depending upon the type of circuit that we are going to consider. So please do subscribe to my channel, like, share your views and feedback. That is going to support me a lot, and also click the bell icon in order to get further notification. Thank you very much. This is Shiva Biram signing off.